control, 147 lots, 65 of them to be cottages, 82 to be estate lots. Estate lots are an acre plus, so it all abides by what we originally came in for the zoning on. So I won't take up any more of your time and be available for questions.
Matt, can I ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
And then just heard a question about this. I don't know if you have the preliminary plat that you put up there, but on the northeast end of the Madison Fields area, there's sort of a partially drawn road. Yeah, that crosses the creek there. I assume that will.
Are you talking about this one?
Yes, sir, that one.
Okay.
Would that one go on out and connect to Sanford on the right and then provide
Yes, sir.
connectivity up to the golf course?
It's a little confusing, and I actually am meeting with the engineer again tomorrow morning. He's already drawn it in to show the connection, that it does connect to Sanford.
Okay.
So we have two, in part of our zoning, we needed two gated entrances.
Right.
And so that provides a Sanford entrance and a Helicon Springs entrance.
Okay. And will it continue on the, I guess, the southwest end? Will that continue on up into the golf course side?
Yes, sir. We just didn't show any of the golf course,
yeah.
but that road continues down to the clubhouse for the golf course.
That's what I thought. Just wanted
Yes,
to make
sir.
sure.
Yes, sir.
Just one quick thing, the cottages have to be 1,500 square feet. The lot size for the cottages is, I was looking, it's .16, .17, or is any less than 16 or 17?
I don't think there are, but we have looked at the minimum square footage, and we are going to meet or exceed the minimum square footage. In many cases, exceed that.
Okay. But each one's still detached?
Yes, sir.
Standalone?
Yes, all standalone, detached.
All right, great, thank you.
Is it two-story?
Some of them will be two-story. We do have a height maximum, but, you know, we have the ability to go with a ranch, or we can go two-story.
What would be the maximum on the height?
Per the zoning, I think it was 35 feet. But it is written into our zoning. It was item number...
Whatever the height requirement, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we maxed it out, and it was item number 15 of the original zoning specifications. And so it has a 35-foot mandate as outlined in the Madison County zoning ordinance.
So of the 65, how many would be ranch?
You know, I'm not certain, because it depends on demand for the ranch product. Most people will do a custom home and decide if they want a ranch or if they want a two-story.
Oh, for the name.
Right.
Actually, I see on the first page of the preliminary plat, it says maximum building height 32, in the site information notes.
Okay, if you flip over, let's see, it talks about the fire, and then the next page, sorry, it's on 2 pages, 32 feet from ground to eaves.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This doesn't have anything to do with it, you said the name change was due to more to separate the two?
Yes, sir. It's, you know, the private golf club and then the community are essentially two separate, they're within the same property, but almost like two separate projects. And so we wanted to have a distinct name for the community and a distinct name for the golf course.
Matt, can you comment on the question that I posed to you earlier about Commissioner Doster's question to me about how originally the original rezone plan had all the houses clustered in one area and the cottages in another, and now you've got them intermingled?
Absolutely.
How came to that?
Probably the easiest way to answer that is I'm not smart enough to come up with a site plan we have before us. It took a lot of dollars and a lot of research and a lot of discussions. And this came from feedback from real estate brokers, feedback from land planners, feedback from the engineer. And our ultimate goal was creating a community that was walkable, and also we wanted the social aspect of the community. We wanted it to be like a historic town where everybody knows your name, you're walking around, you're talking to people. And we felt that if we were to put just the cottages in one section and the estate lots in another section, that there probably would be more activity in one versus the other. And we thought that if we intermingled the two, that we would get activity throughout the community, and that's probably the simplest way to explain it. But once we saw the site plan laid out, we just didn't wrap our mind around that idea until we saw it and, you know, talked about historic towns and some new projects that people are probably familiar with are 30A in Florida. You've got Rosemary Beach and Seaside and Alice Beach, and they do the same thing where they have smaller homes and larger lots intermingled together, and it just creates a vibrant community where there's people walking around and activity going on throughout instead of just a certain section.
So there was nothing in the conditions that you broke any kind of rules?
No,
It
sir.
could be either or.
The way the conditions were written were we would have no more than 65 cottages. They could be up to 6 per acre, and then we had to have 82, no more than 82 estate lots, or we could have more than 82 estate lots, but those had to be an acre plus. And so the preliminary plat before you meets those standards.
Can I ask you something? I'm reading this, and I didn't know. Okay, about the rentals. Are these rentals, the person's gonna own their home and be able to rent? What is this rental, and how is it gonna be controlled?
So there were some concerns about rentals in the zoning. And so the way we wrote it in there is that we would have no short-term rentals outside of anything that was going through the club or member-to-member short-term rentals, but no, like VRBO, you know, we wouldn't just have the ability for anybody to come rent a place. They'd have to rent it through the club so that there's somebody facilitating the rental and somebody managing it, and there's a proper process, and it wasn't just a, you know, like a random VRBO is what the intent was there in the zoning.
Oh, so actually the clubhouse is gonna be, have a rental management there.
Not guaranteed, but that's the way it would have to work to meet the zoning. If they had, you know, people came in and say, a foursome is golfing and somebody said, hey, we're fine with them renting it for a week, then they could go through the clubhouse and potentially do that. But you couldn't just go online and like do a VRBO like you can throughout Athens.
Right.
And just randomly rent a place.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm trying to understand is the club is gonna own these cottages.
No, ma'am.
So
They're individually owned.
Okay, so a person will own this cottage and be able to have it rented through the club. Is that what you're saying?
If they decided to, that is an option we have under the zoning.
But it's gonna be individually owned.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, will you have a cap on rentals?
No, ma'am, but I don't see them really. I mean, most people are not willing to rent their house out, so.
Well,
And a difference possibly in this development as well, because it is private.
yeah.
This is not gonna be open to the general public, so therefore that would be a little different than like the way we would think of, I think, coming alongside with what he's talking about. If it was in a traditional development, a lot of HOAs are capping the number of
Yeah.
properties that can be subject to a
Right.
rental in it, because this is, I mean, the whole development's private. I mean, it's gonna be gated there as well, so I think I'm not adding to it, but I hope that what I understand it is, that was just an extra control that was put there
Absolutely.
to make sure that everybody's underneath
Absolutely.
the same umbrella.
That's right. We wanted to make sure that we could police and control and make sure that people are following the rules, and it's not a situation that, you know, the sheriff has to get involved because the neighbor's aggravated because somebody from outside the community's rented a unit and is making a lot of noise, and they can't get them to be quiet, and they know nothing about the HOA standards or laws in the community, and so we just wanted an extra element of control.
Well, I know, I've known a lot of subdivisions that have fallen short because they did not put a cap on rent. And it sort of
it puts the burdens back
Yeah.
onto the local to be able to enforce something that could possibly be there that way.
But that's not what's gonna happen here. Okay. That's what I was concerned about.
All right, any further questions for Matt?
All right.
Thank you, sir. All right, we need to make a decision here tonight as to whether we want to vote on this tonight for approval or to, wait until our public hearing this week.
But you won't have a public hearing on this regardless.
No, we won't have a public hearing.
Just a matter of
But
which
we can
meeting.
either vote on it tonight or just wait until that meeting to vote on it.
Yes, sir.
What's your pleasure?
I'm ready to vote. I know you all just got your packets.
Oh,
I'm fine with voting tonight, so.
I don't have any resolution.
Likewise.
Okay, sounds like a consensus to me. All right, well, I will entertain a motion to, approve the preliminary plat that will be presented to the board of commissioners or to deny. We have a motion.
I'd like a motion to approve.
A motion by Ken to approve.
Second.
Second by Lee. Any questions or comments?
I did want to ask Mike, there are a couple areas where, the comment section, do we need to address that in our approval? Or, let's see.
Can you steer me to the page of the packet you're looking
This
at?
is page 15, I believe, and there are 3 comments. And they're read, the subdivision regulations require that a sewage approval must be submitted with preliminary plat. It kind of has some notes there to go along with that. Should we include that in our?
Traffic impact.
Well, I feel like you're not reading this.
Right, so, yeah, sorry, I didn't read that before, so I think that's right, it would be approved, subject to, compliance with items 2 and 3, which are the community sewer system approval from the health department and a traffic impact study. Okay. Is that okay?
part of the motion?
So,
Yes.
That will be part of the motion. Does that be added?
can I ask something before, because I did not read this, and now you're bringing up stuff and I'm saying.
That's the reason I get it emailed to me, and I don't wait on it to, I try to get a jump on it and look at it before I show up.
Yeah, so is this something we really need to vote on right now?
Yes, the recommendation was actually to approve, to do exactly that, to approve it with those 2 conditions.
Any further comments or questions? We do have a motion on the floor to approve, a motion and a second to approve with, the added text.
Right.
Are we ready to vote? Starting with Cynthia.
You're starting with me. I'm trying to.
Yes, we are.
Let's do this. Oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, it has been approved that from this board, so we'll go to the Board of Commissioners on January 6th.
I think it was, December 29th. I'm sorry.
I
No,
think
you're
right.
correct.
I'm not trying to
You're
correct
correct.
you, I just,
Okay, December 29th,
You're correct.
yes,
the
sir.
last meeting of the month.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And just in case it comes up at that meeting, do you know what I think on this says that you actually you need that approval on the 29th before you can get the sewer system approved, is that right?
So the sewer system, yes, I need an approval on the 29th. I need the approval on the 29th to finalize everything that goes to the EPD. We've already met with the EPD on site. They said this is a good candidate, which is about as far as you can get with them.
Right.
But we need to know that the Board of Commissioners is on board with the plat.
Right.
then the final design is linked to the plat that they approve, and then the state approves the community sewer.
Okay, that makes sense. And on the traffic impact study, what's the timeline for that?
So I know it's underway, and I know that we're committed to, you know, based off of what the traffic impact study says, is making the modifications as necessary, and I think the zoning said that we'd have to be willing to do that, so.
Okay.
All right.
All right, well, thank you,
all
sir.
so much for tonight.
One other thing, I guess, I think several of us have went out there to see it. The rest of us would like the same opportunity.
Perfect, well, let's schedule a time. Absolutely. I know the intent was that it was tucked away, that's why we love the property, and, I think there were some complaints in the zoning that people didn't want to see a golf course, and I said, well, that's why we chose this property, and so I'll be glad to take whoever needs to go out there and show them around. It's really looking good, a lot of progress.
You can't see the clubhouse from our road.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I remembered one other question. So your actual footprint for the residential development ended up taking less area than the concept plan. So that'll be less than the area rezoned to R3?
Yes, sir. We're just intending on, still having that as common space.
Okay, so that'll still remain in the R3?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just curious.
All right. Thank you.
We'll get in touch with you.
Sounds good. Talk soon.
Would you like?
Yes, please. These things cost $30 now.
Yes.
If you do.
So is it gated, locked up, that you can't go out there?
Well, we do have gates with locks on it, but they're temporary, and we've already positioned where the future gates are gonna be, and we're waiting on this hearing in the 29th, and then the contractor's ready to start installing the permanent gates.
So we have to contact you just to go in.
Well, I would prefer that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you have authority to get out there, but
You don't
give me a call.
Think about it that way, you don't wanna walk.
Yeah, you don't wanna walk, you'd much rather ride in the side-by-side with the windows up.
We'll give you a call.
Thank y'all.
All right,
See you soon.
thank you much.
Who's this?
Oh,
I love it. I bored him to death. He's sound asleep.
He's in good shape.
Yeah.
All right, item 2, discussion of zoning applications for the December 16, 2025 public hearing. Melissa.
All right, Brooke and Samuel Francis are requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of their 27.33 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split for mortgage purposes, and to rezone the remaining 23.33 acres from A1 to A2 to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. The property is located at 1653 Vineyards Creek Church Road in Comer on map 95, parcel 42 in District 4.
Anything special that we need to know?
No, sir. It is in the rural conservation area, so it is consistent.
All right, any questions? All right, let's move on to number 2.
Darlene Plevkin and Nolan Boylston are requesting a variance on their 32.19 acre property to allow a split to be made that will not have the required 150 feet of road frontage. It will have 128.52 feet, leaving a 21.48 foot deficit. The property is located at 0 Jotham Down Road in Danielsville on map 10, parcel 61D in District 1. So I do know this one got brought in as to have the plat recorded, and then it was caught that this tract down here wouldn't have enough road frontage, and it would require the variance.
Thank you for sharing that.
Okay, so
No, that excites me. I do business in 6 counties around, and I'm amazed at how much never gets caught. And that does my heart good. Thank you for sharing that.
What is the reason for this, if they mention?
She, if I'm not mistaken, they are splitting them to sell them. I think there might be one tract they keep, but the rest they're selling.
The other two meet the 150 feet.
Yes, so
Rest
all
now?
the other tracks meet the 150. I will say track 2 down here will be accessed through an easement, because it's gonna be landlocked. This one didn't have enough road frontage.
And the easement's gonna come through
The
track
very-
1?
Yes, sir.
So actually, I think if I read it correctly, so there's just one lot, one track going into 3, and they all meet the minimums for the A2, they're already zoned.
Yes.
So the only thing they need is the variance for the road frontage for the top lot. Then I think just the one on the bottom left is going to be served by an easement through that top lot, and the one on the bottom right is going to be combined with other property they own next to it, I believe is what he said.
Bottom right?
It's the 12-acre tract that's going to be combined. I'm sorry, I may be saying it wrong. This says tract 1 is 10 acres, it will have the road frontage. Tract 2 will be accessed by a 30-foot easement through tract 1. Tract 3 will be combined with a portion of their adjoining A2 property that is shown as tract 4, and that will give them 150 feet of frontage on Blacks Creek Church Road.
Yeah, so track 3 by itself didn't have enough road frontage. This up here is what he's talking about.
Okay, I couldn't see the
You're okay.
numbers from here.
Okay, so
Sorry.
that one doesn't matter, because they're gonna combine it and make the 150 feet.
Yes.
The other one down there is coming off of what road?
Jot them down.
Y'all,
And it's only got 128 instead of 150.
so that's asking for the variance.
Yes, sir. And then track 2 back here will have an access easement.
And is that, 30-foot easement, it coming off of 128, so that means you cut down to what, 90 something feet road frontage again?
Like 98.52.
Road frontage would include the easement, right?
Oh,
You're
You
not.
still have 128 foot road frontage.
yeah, okay.
We want to cut it down, it's just, you just use them both of them.
Use both of them.
At what point does something become a minor subdivision?
Creating more than 5 lots within a rolling 3-year period.
So with the one that they're giving the road frontage to make that, would that not be a 5th lot off of that parent parcel?
Well, they're actually, so you're actually combining, I mean, it's a new lot of record, but the total number of lots isn't changing, right?
Let's see, so
Because it's being combined.
we do a total of 3 splits for a total of 4 parcels without it going into subdivision regulation.
Well, let me
There's
ask you this,
3
do they-
splits for a total of 4
Do
parcels.
they own tract 4, 5,
Yeah,
and
that's
6
what
and 7?
That's what I
5,
was.
6, and 7, that'd be subdivision right
Well,
there.
but they're saying it's two adjoining parcels.
2 parent parcels, one's being divided into 3, one's being divided into 4, but they're both owned by the same person.
Oh, I didn't realize there were 2 parent parcels involved. I was just focusing on the one.
So, yeah, that would be a subdivision.
Well, but it's out of the same parent parcel, so there still are more than 5 lots being created out of any given parent parcel.
So 2 different parcels.
Oh, yeah, but then, I mean, just looking at what they own, it can be a little subdivision. That's what they're creating.
Well, that's just,
Call it that, but technically
Yeah, I know,
it's not.
technically, I know, but,
The road frontage that is being given from tract 4 to tract 3 is coming out of it's coming out of, let's say, parcel A and giving to parcel B. So parcel A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm sorry, I haven't focused on it yet. I can tell you from past experience, when you have 2 or more parent parcels and you're redrawing lines so that you can't match all the resulting lots to just one of those parent parcels. I've talked to planning directors in other counties that have similar regulations, and they tell me they just add the two and make sure, so in this case, make sure you don't come out with more than 10. And I think that's probably the only practical way to do it.
Okay.
And I think ours has 3 splits for a total of 4 parcels, so as long as they don't like the
But they are
track
coming
A.
to us asking for a variance. It's not as if it can stand on its own with the 2 parcels. They're coming to us in order to get those extra splits, asking for us to allow a variance on those.
Yeah, but, so variance is part of the zoning, which is separate from the issue of whether it goes through the major subdividing process, which requires both a preliminary and a final plat, and all of the things that have to be on both, versus the minor subdividing process. I mean, you can have all sorts of variances and rezones and whatnot, and it'd still be a minor subdivision.
Correct.
The way I see it right now, if they did split that, it's still non-conforming because you don't have the 150 feet.
Well, that's why they asked us for the variance.
That's what
Yeah,
variance.
I know, if it did split it, that's what I'm saying is, if that was one complete tract, 1, 2, and 3 was one complete tract, they still wouldn't have the 150 foot, would it? If it,
Well, they have it off of John
Well,
Brown.
yeah, the other one
well,
was.
no, because they took tract 4 and added that to it right now, but if they hadn't done that, added tract 4, part of tract 4 to it, it still wouldn't have been, it would still be non-conforming because it would still wouldn't have 150 feet.
No, track 3 would still have 150 feet. So
No.
track 3 would be part of 1, 2, and 3, right? So it still has 100.
I think Ken's just making the point that no nonconformity is being created or increased here. Nothing's being made worse. Is that right?
Yeah. It's nothing worse, it just,
If anything, number 3 on Blacks Creek Church Road, where it says 150, where they're getting it from track 4, you're actually making the deficit better.
yeah,
But then on Jot 'em Down, you still have a deficit.
yeah.
Exactly.
More questions? Have 3 weeks to think about it. Or 2 weeks, whatever it is, before.
Trying to get me not to show up.
Absolutely.
So there's
What
a
kind
to
of-
sell all these tracks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No, this is different, we ain't got nothing to worry about.
I know, because they already split, they can split that without, because they have enough roads.
Yeah, the definition of major subdivision, section B, is subdivision of a parent parcel where 5 or more lots, initial lot plus 4 new ones are created within a 3-year period. So seems like we're well under the limit here.
All right. Anything else? All right, let's move on to number 3.
Marcus and Deborah Hale are requesting to rezone their 16.08 acres from A1 to AR to allow the property to be split into 2 tracts consisting of approximately 8.79 and 7.30 acres, each to give their daughters. The property is located at 0 Colbert Danielsville Road in Colbert on map 58, parcel 88-02 in District 5.
Pretty cut and dried. Anybody have any questions?
I have a question on this one.
Okay.
This is a 60-foot easement from Colbert Danielsville Road into the affected parcel that we're talking about. 60 feet in, when it gets to the end, it bumps down to 30 feet to each of those pie pieces at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have 2 parcels being served at the end once this is split. And then the 10.8 acres is a third. The 11.08 acres is a fourth. And then the 5-acre one that actually has some frontage on Colbert Danielsville also uses the easement to serve their home. I was out there today. And I went and looked at I think we had one of these not long ago on Fred Goss or Gosling or something, that we had to deal with, but it says serve a maximum of 4 lots, and serve is defined at the bottom, that traffic uses any portion of the private access drive. They're using the private access drive even though they have road frontage. So is that counted as 5 lots or 4 lots using the easement? Does that make sense?
It does.
There is a home on that 5 acres, but it ties it into the easement.
Can you tell me on the section you're looking at on the?
8.2.1.
Okay.
8212 says serve a maximum of 4 lots for private drives and easements. And then down at the bottom, it gives a definition for serve.
Traffic. Travel between.
Do we have what is the frontage where it touches the road there?
113 feet. So I'm not sure how that should be interpreted.
So all those are gonna be served off of Colbert Danielsville?
Mhm.
So where is the 5th lot that's using it even though it doesn't need it?
But that 5 acres, that's actually the first lot you come to as you go down the easement.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Okay.
You said that 5 acres has 150 feet?
It's 113 feet, counting the easement on Colbert Daniels. The easement is 60, but the total frontage is 113.
So, that's interesting.
So they don't have enough.
I was thinking when it said, and I can see how you can read it both ways, but I was thinking that when it says using a portion of it to travel between a public road and the lot, that wouldn't include the lot that's on the public road. Because it was only talking about if you're going through a different lot to get between the public road and the lot.
Other than the one that we dealt with not long ago on Gosling or something, I can't remember any.
Saunders.
Yeah, I think so. In that case, they had frontage on 172. Remember how it went around there? So it was a new point. So anyway, I just bring it up. I'm not sure how we've done it in the past or the interpretation of it.
This is just me talking. I don't know how Tracy interpreted this one, but I look at it the way Mike does. Like, the first lot may have already had the driveway established, and then the rest have to use it to get to the lot.
That to me, that's the between the part. It's not just using it as your driveway, it's using it as an easement between the road and your lot.
But they don't have any road frontage, so they'd have to use it.
Yeah, they do have that. That's what we're talking about. You count the lot that has the frontage as one of the ones that's using it to serve as access between the road and the lot.
In other words, the easement and the existing road frontage put together. When they're using part of, for that 5 acres, for the rest of it, to access the rest of it.
Well, I mean, the basic thing is for the servient lot, which is the one the easement's over, they're not using it as an easement. It's just a driveway.
Right.
They're dominant. They're the servient lot. The others are the dominant lots. They're using it as an easement in real estate law terms.
So you're saying we shouldn't even count that one in because it's the main lot?
Right.
Okay.
So actually, we have four lots that will be served by these,
Right.
not five.
Right.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any further questions on this one? All right, number 4.
Kyle Wood, applicant for Beverly Freeman, is requesting a rezone.
I'm sorry, before we leave number 3.
Sure.
So the application says they're only gonna have 2 resulting lots, but of course, 16 acres at A4 could have as many as 4 resulting lots. So if you wanna limit it to the 2 they're representing, that would have to be a condition in your motion. Sorry about that.
Okay, all right.
Where was that?
When it comes down to,
Where you said 2 lots?
Yeah, weren't they only proposing 2 lots to
Yes.
come out of
Correct.
that?
Yes,
But they could, if you just rezone it AR with no conditions, they could do up to 4.
I'm with you.
So our condition should, if we condition,
That it
that it should only be 2 lots.
don't
Right.
serve
They
two
cannot
lots.
be split again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now number 4.
Kyle Wood, applicant for Beverly Freeman, is requesting to rezone her 36.81 acres from A1 to AR/A2 to allow the property to be split into 4 tracts consisting of 5.419, 5 acres, 9.90, and 16.491 acre lots to sell. The property is located at 0 Harry Pauls Road in Danielsville on map 48, parcel 26, District 4.
Questions? Comments?
So the smallest AR will be 5.
Correct. 3 ARs and 1 A2.
And this is another one, that 9.9 AR could be further subdivided, it's just a straight AR, so if you want to prevent that, you'll need a condition on this one that, the plat substantially comply with the site plan and that tract 3 on the site plan can't be further subdivided. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So a future person that buys that lot, AR, and it's 9 acres, they don't have the option then to split it in the future.
Well, that, if you
make that condition.
Now, on both of those, you don't have to make those conditions. I mean, you may not care that it be further subdivided as long as it's, within the AR rules, in which case, ignore everything I said. But a lot of times, I know, especially at the Board of Commissioners level, I still struggle to get through that as presented is not a shorthand way of imposing conditions. You can't. So if you want to make the representations binding, you have to do it as a condition.
So you're only looking at the 3rd acre, number 3.
Exactly.
Which is 9.9.
But
Because it's 9.9.
Yeah.
now would they come back and do the A2 and
They'd have to get it rezoned.
That would have to be rezoned because that's a 10 acre.
Yeah, I know that has to come back.
Yeah, so, again, I mean, both number 3 and this number 4 are, in the rural residential, they're ARs. We generally think ARs are fine, so you may not need those conditions. I just pointed out because it is in the application.
Okay. Any further comments or questions? Not, we'll move on to discussion, the appointment of positions of chairperson and vice chair for the Planning and Zoning Commission to be voted on at the upcoming December 16th meeting. Open for discussion. Hearing none, we'll,
I do have something on that. I was gonna, since we have changed the configuration of the board as it's manned, do we need to define what it is that I mean, because as it currently states, I mean, the chairman's not fulfilling the same role that it was before, because it was a voting member, right? I mean, now that we've changed the configuration of the board itself.
Well, you went from 7 members to 5, or I guess to 6, I'm sorry.
To 6, 5 voting members and the chairperson.
And 5 voting members and the chairperson, but the provision in the bylaws about how you elect the chairperson is still the same. You do it yourself for the new year, beginning January each year.
But what, I'm glad you brought that up, what if Canola says, I don't want to chair any longer? Would we choose a new chairperson among these 5, and then Canolas would take that spot? Or, and then that person moves into the chair?
And I understand it, interpret it, the way you get here is separate from the way you govern yourselves. So, Canolas isn't chair just because the Board of Commissioners chair. It happens to be who appointed him. He's chair because y'all elected him. So, you know, and I guess that goes to the, are you representing your district? You know, another one I struggled to explain for 25 years. Of course, you're an appointed recommending body. At the elected level, no commissioner has any power except his vote as one member of the Board of Commissioners. So you don't represent a district, you represent the county.
You mean him?
I mean everybody.
All of you, all
Okay,
6 of you.
So why are we divided into districts?
Simply how you get, that's how you get appointed. And so the reason that the Board of Commissioners is divided into districts, goes back to 1965 and the Voting Rights Act, because at-large representation in a majority white county will likely result in all the commissioners being white, whereas if you divide into districts, minority representation has a better chance of getting on the board.
Correct.
But that doesn't go for us.
Well,
But once you're on the board, you still represent the whole county.
Right.
well, the difference between this board and the county commissioners is that your chair is elected separately by the citizens. This board, your chair is elected by the members of this board.
Exactly. So I think where you're, and I make some assumptions, but I think where you're going with the question, Lee, was if Cynthia becomes the new chair, which district does Canolas represent? And what I'm saying is, nobody represents the district. That's just how you got here.
And we have a situation right now where we have a person out of their district representing
Well, then
a
I don't
district.
really represent a district then.
Nobody
I
does.
represent everybody.
That's his point. That's his point.
Yeah.
That nobody really represents the district.
Mhm.
But that's the way you get here.
But the way we get here also is we're appointed by, county commissioners.
Who supposedly represent the district.
He's
But-
elected by district.
Yeah.
He
Right.
votes in the interest, he's charged with making decisions for the whole county.
And that's why it probably should be different for us to be appointed, because that's why we can never get people.
It is, well, but we have a fail-safe in that, and it's been there for quite a while, I think going back to 2007. Carly Dandy's leaving. So, the District 5 Commissioner, Derek Doster, has 60 days to nominate someone from his district to fill this seat. If he can't find anybody within 60 days, then any member of the Board of Commissioners can nominate any citizen of the county.
So that goes back to me. 'cause I'm just filling in until whatever. I don't know, does he have to still find somebody? 'Cause this 60 days is over.
No, this 60 days hasn't started yet.
No.
Bruce is still here.
No, when I took, I filled the position.
I think you were appointed though to complete that.
You were appointed by him to
That's
complete.
what I think, yeah.
Oh.
Thank you. I was getting lost there.
Yeah. So he's happy, I mean, you're it.
You're not filling in.
He can't appoint anybody else at this point until your term is up.
Until the term that you were appointed to is complete, at that point is when a 60-day process would be initiated, I believe.
So
Yeah, assuming you don't want to serve, or your district, your 4, I guess, right, doesn't want to appoint you yet. 3, okay, doesn't want to appoint you.
So what happens to my term? 'Cause I was still fulfilling my own term.
No, that seat went away.
Okay, so that went away, okay, all right.
All right, any other discussion on this?
Thank you, I just want to entertain that, because I still didn't understand everything and how that went down as far as the board and what we did and how we did it and stuff, so thank you for that
Your bylaws
clarification.
say that you elect your chairman effective every January 1. And you can elect, I don't know, do y'all do the vice chair? I think you do. Yeah, so you do it, so you'll do the chair and the vice chair.
So we will do that, next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, number 4, and I'm sure you have I see it there.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody have any problem with those dates?
Are these all the usual 1st and 4th? I mean, 1st and 3rd, none of them had to be moved?
There's 1 or 2 weeks that had to be adjusted
There are,
due to
okay.
the days, but
Yeah.
Okay, that will also be voted on the 16th.
I have it to take a vote tonight on it. Is there a prudence?
Oh, which ones were moving?
Doesn't matter.
I only ask so that I'll know to actually look at the dates and not just do 1st and 3rd recurring.
I'll
Want to vote on it tonight?
make a motion, we accept the meeting schedule.
I'll second. Okay, it's been moved and probably second that we, approve the proposed meeting dates for 2026. Any questions or comments? If not, Kim?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
All right. Those dates have been approved. Old business. Discuss recommending to the Board of Commissioners proposed tax amendment to the zoning orders requiring setback for auction bonds and livestock sales provisions. First of all, let me thank Lee for his hard work in trying to put this together. I understand there's still some questions as to the tax and where CPR comes into
Freudian slip there at CPL.
I mean, CPL.
May be more appropriate.
Yeah, CPL comes.
I heard that too.
And I'm not sure, as I said before, that we need to wait on them. Although I was informed tonight that there's a meeting tomorrow.
I did the best I could with the draft, but as luck would have it, we received emails today, Canovis and I are on the committee, that there will be a meeting with CPL tomorrow to talk about final pushing this over the goal line. So,
Okay.
At 10 o'clock in the morning. You aware of that? Okay.
With that being said, this is just from my standpoint. We've been waiting over a year for them folks to come through. And I'm not sure that that's going to happen tomorrow, next month, or next 6 months. From my standpoint, I think we should follow through with trying to get this tax amendment to the Board of Commissioners, and then they, if they want to, can say, no, we're not touching it, we're gonna let CPL get involved in this. But from a planning and zoning standpoint, as the chair, I'm asking that this move forward to get presented to the Board of Commissioners, and then they can take it from there as to whether they want to approve it or delay it or give it to the company that's been hired to.
And you all have not seen the final draft, you probably saw one along the way, but I was working on this as far back as the Friday before Thanksgiving week. And then Mike had to go out of town, and so you haven't actually seen the final draft. So if you want to send that out for comment or knowledge or whatever, it's there.
So, we get the final draft, we can vote on it, what,
On the 16th.
16th?
Ms. Tracy's got it to be voted on tonight. But we can.
We're not ready to vote on it
No,
tonight.
that's perfectly.
So I'm looking at the EDC draft, and it simply says no livestock sales should be allowed within 100 feet of a residential district. That would have been pretty darn easy, but it wouldn't have gotten to the desired result for the unique situation.
Correct.
Yeah, I thought that, I did the same thing, I looked it up, and there it is.
And
only follow the rules.
every time that we come up with a recommendation that we have to present to them, it's like they start all over again. You know, and I don't want to go through all that again, cause, I mean, you know, cause I stood before the Board of Commissioners and said, when this came up, that we're going to address this as a recommending board, because I want to see this change, because that changing the livestock or what was that, from camels or whatever, they kept talking about.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to see that ever happen again. And I think in order to do this, or in order to get this through, that we need to go ahead and do our job and then put it on them as to whether they want us to change the recommendation to the other group. So I would, from my standpoint, and I'm not a voting member, but I'd like to move forward with our text to give to the Board of Commissioners
So will you?
for their approval or disapproval.
Will you send out the final?
I'll send it to Mark. Since Ms. Tracy has it as a vote, can we make a motion to postpone it until 12/16?
I'll entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to change it to 12/16 before our vote.
I'll second.
Okay, my motion is second. All right, any comments? Yes.
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 All right, that will be voted on 12/16. And the final, lease final draft will be sent out tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything else? Not, I have a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second. All right, move proper second that we're adjourned. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Lee, what time does that thing come on?
Yeah, I'm glad I got this thing. Every 6 months. Okay.
Come here and see.
Yeah.